Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic-Con. I am Ryan. To my right is
James.
To my left is
Brad.
Brad's back.
Yeah.
Dude, so
2 weeks in the making.
exactly. So you know what happened?
What?
Brad was on Carnival's Triumph, and I don't know if you've heard about this in the news, but the Triumph broke
Is it the
down.
one that turned sideways and
No,
like,
that was
sank?
in the Mediterranean. This
Oh,
one was
okay.
recently. It was in the Caribbean, and it like there's a fire or something in the engine room. Correct, Brad?
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah, tell us about what happened.
And everybody had a shit in bags or something.
Yeah, all you need to know is that I spent 2 weeks shitting in bags.
So it was probably the shittiest cruise you've ever been on.
Oh.
But
Actually, that sounds just like a normal cruise to me.
And how do you feel about them only offering you $500 for your trouble?
I feel like it's a refund for the cruise.
And you think that's sufficient? You know, swimming in your own shit.
You
didn't have to swim in it. It was in bags.
when I booked the trip, the agent did say it was the shitting in bags tour, so
Oh.
I kind of saw it coming.
So I want to go out and just apologize. I thought Brad was spanking it in a X-rated arcade, but it turns out he was just stuck on a shitty cruise.
What was that place
Spanking
called?
it in an X-rated arcade on a ship.
Yeah. I imagine it like you know when you were a kid and you went to the McDonald's and there was that like
McDonald's?
yeah, the McDonald's. And there was that whole like pool full of balls, right? Like the different colored balls.
Mhm.
I imagine it like that, only they're like Ziploc bags full of shit. Is that what it was like?
That and more.
Wow.
And did they give you zip ties so the shit won't spread everywhere?
I don't think that would actually work, but
Hey, have you seen the commercials for Ziploc bags? You don't need zip ties.
You don't?
They are, they're like triple locked.
I mean,
in
that's
there.
probably why you're happy with your $500 you got from them, because they gave you Ziploc bags to put mounds and mounds of shit in.
Yeah. These
And
weren't
not
no,
worry about it.
generic Costco bags. Come on.
I'm done with this joke. I don't know where else to go with it.
I know you're not. Well, you're not even contributing to it, so it's me just driving it.
I know. Well, you introduced it to me in one way, and it didn't go that way, so I'm completely kind of trying to find my way back into it.
Yeah, no, it's really just a joke. Right?
But I was really in Austin doing Geek Bowl.
He was.
yeah.
So all those stories I just told you about Brad were totally fake.
If you were on this imaginary ship that maybe Brian made up, I don't know.
No, it's not. Do
Is
you
it
not
really?
watch the news?
No, I really don't watch the news.
Obviously.
I'm generally offended
No,
by
he's
the
too
news,
busy
yeah.
watching movies.
I didn't see that much of this week.
Dude, I'm
didn't
trying
do
to tie
anything.
it back to movies.
You didn't even see what's that one with Christy Swanson where they're on the ship? Jet skis?
Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus?
Sure.
No,
No, it's actually a
it's-
big movie.
It's the third one. What?
Like she's on a ship where it's attacked by like a squid, and she's on a jet ski. It's like in the mid-'90s. I would say Kevin Sorbo's in it too.
Oh, dude. No, I didn't see that, but I'm gonna. That sounds good, man.
It's Deep Rising. Does that
No,
sound
no,
right?
no, no. Deep Rising is the Stephen Sommers movie. That's the movie. That's the movie with Famke Jensen and that dude from The Substitute. Where there's the big where it's
Maybe that's
exactly
what I'm
like you're
thinking
talking
of.
about. Oh, okay, yeah. That's not Christy Swanson though. I love the shit out of that movie.
Do you really?
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah.
that is a great time
Well, I will. To each their own.
if it's on TV in the middle of the afternoon.
So you can go to denvercomiccon.com and buy tickets right now.
Do
Buying tickets to Denver Comic Con supports Comic Book Classroom, so you should do that. Also, part of Real Nerds commercials that are totally organic, you can go to tweakedaudio.com and any earbuds, which they make great earbuds,
they do?
if you buy them and put in Real Nerds at the checkout, this little discount code, a third off your whole order. Not just specific earbuds, a third off your whole order. So if you order 100 of them, you get $33 off. So, you should do it.
And like some sense, I imagine.
Can I tell you guys a story?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
please do.
Back to Geek Bowl, because I went there in Austin. I was on the plane, and I put in my iPhone earbuds, and they sucked balls because they go
'Cause
bad
they're-
really quickly.
And they're
And I wish I had the tweaked audio ones with me.
They do sound really good. What? Oh yeah, man! What poor decisions. See,
know.
don't be like Brad.
I sat there
Exactly.
listening to podcasts like our own, and it was scratching and poking me in my eardrum for
tweaked
hours
audios
and
don't
hours
do that.
straight. And that wouldn't have happened if I had my tweaked audio earbuds.
Yeah,
That's right.
So
because they do make them. I showed mine to some friends, and they were like, "Oh, I don't like the in-ear ones," but they make them in both ways, and then they make them in like the in-ear ones. They got them in different sizes,
yeah.
So
And I pulled them out of my coat, and they were all tangled. And I was like, if only I had the
If only these cables were flat.
flat. like the ones James has,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting here wasting more time not listening to my shows.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know, Brad, you can buy you some and get them a third off.
that's right. I'll do that because my iPod ones are they've gone to shit. And
Yeah, my wife even has like the same kind of design as iPod ones, like just the standard earbuds.
Right.
But she says they're way more comfortable.
Cool.
So yeah, and they're not even their highest end. You can get, I think they're
they're not crazy
$12.95,
expensive.
$9.95.
Yeah, like we talk every week about how good these things are, but they're not real expensive. Like even my mom got some really nice ones that have a speaker in them and stuff like that, and they were like $30. And then she got a third off. Like, it's
totally
crazy.
So you should totally check out tweakedaudio.com. When you check out, put in the Real Nerds, just Real Nerds in the discount code, and you get a third off your whole order.
Really cool.
It is very cool. And we will have another thing for our listeners on our website. I don't know if you guys know this, but when we were at Mile High Horror Fest, I interviewed Jonathan Tiersten. Well, we all kind of did.
Yeah, I was there.
But me being the horror movie fan, I knew the movies he was in previously, and he did a movie called The Perfect House, which he was nice enough to give me an advance copy of, and I talked about how much I liked it. And I just last night I posted on their Facebook page about, hey, because they just put it on VOD maybe a couple weeks ago.
Cool.
I said, hey guys, if you want to find out how Jonathan kind of got in the mindset of playing a serial killer, check out our interview with him. And the director was kind enough to instant message me back where he's going to have a link on our website where you can download the movie on video on demand from our website.
Oh, that's really cool.
So as soon as we find out a place to put it, it will be up. So stay tuned for that very, 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 very shortly.
And the reason why we have to find a place to put it is if you haven't checked it out, there is a completely brand new Real Nerds website.
Yeah, so let's give a round of applause to Brad.
Absolutely. Dude, it is... I can't,
thank you.
I can't clap and hold the mic at the same time.
And James had a hand in it by spending the money to buy the template and the space.
I had a little
for 3 years,
but you did all of the heavy lifting, and it looks really good.
It does. Our website is amazing. It's beautiful.
Still some things we're tweaking, So if you go in there and you dig through and you're like, that looks like shit, we know.
Yeah, we're
working on it.
We got the front facade ready to go for you, but the deeper stuff, is going to be a little
much like everything we do here at the Real Nerds Podcast. When you first approach it, it looks very professional.
Mm-hmm.
You dig any deeper,
but when you poke and prod, and get to the core,
then you realize that we're just three dudes with real jobs.
There.
And
the scrolling though on the top is really cool.
It is really cool. Yeah,
and you reformatted my JSON blog.
I did.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like paragraph, single picture, paragraph, single picture.
Which
It's integrated.
is something we can do well now.
Yeah,
on
because
your
it's
site,
no
'cause
longer
Tumblr doesn't do that.
a blog site. It's an actual website.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
really
blog
cool.
site, but yeah.
I mean, it is similar, but
Brad, why do you have to tear everything down? Why don't you say, "Oh, it's a great website where you can have articles that look nice instead of look like blogs"?
Yeah,
you fucking.
So I always make things harder.
I know why.
Yeah, you do.
I'm an overachiever.
He does. He wants to make it seem like it's not as great, but it is that great, and
Thank
you
you.
did a great job.
He did, and it's very
so
nice.
Please go look at it.
Yeah,
so
make it worth my time. And put comments on it, please.
I will admit, you scared the shit out of me, though, because we had talked about it in the past, and I was like, oh, yeah, like some Sunday, because I'm off most Sundays, I'll come over and we'll hang out and we'll sort of look at it and try to figure it out. And then all of a sudden, like, on, what was it, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday, I get this email. Like, I didn't even get a message from Brad. I just got this email, because I get the emails about the site, that was like, hey, your new site is up. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I didn't want to hang out with them, so I just did it.
Yeah, I go look, and it's all blank. And I was like, oh, my God, there's, But so we built the whole thing live.
Yeah,
It's
actually, I
been
started
really
working on it because I checked it and it was blank because the transfer happened. I was like, something has to go up here.
Yeah.
So I was like,
And if you've been going to our site throughout the week, you've noticed it got progressively better throughout the week. So hats off to Brad.
Yeah.
Great design.
Very cool.
So what movie did we see this week?
We saw Snitch, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
That's right.
When I bought my ticket, that's how I bought the ticket.
It was so good.
And the lady on the other side, I couldn't hear her, but she rolled her eyes and was laughing. So, if you've never listened to Real Nerds Podcast, every week we go see a movie. It might not be the biggest movie of the week, but it's a movie we want to see. And this week we saw Snitch. There's many ways you can contact us. You can call us 720-6nerds5. I'm still waiting for Mark Wahlberg to return my phone call. You can also tweet us at real_nerds. Email us directly, realnerds@gmail.com. You leave a message on our Facebook. Leave a message on our new beautiful website. Every article, every episode has a comment section. Please leave them there.
Yeah.
And let us know if we're any good. Tell James to, get over himself again. He
Seriously.
I did that today.
Good. He needs it. So without that,
How does the show work?
how does it work?
How does it
Well,
work?
we
talk into
record
these mics.
audio
Yeah.
onto a computer, and then you take the audio and put it in the internets. What do you?
That is actually
and
all
that
we know
audio
about what Brad
first
does.
usually contains the stuff we've been watching, and then
Mhm.
it moves on to.
Well,
Fine, I'll do it all myself.
cool. That's what I'm waiting for.
No. Then it goes into box office news and
And you forgot fan mail, but
I
we
did.
go
Yeah.
fan mail, stuff we've been watching.
I haven't been here for 2 weeks. I'm sorry.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Box office
seriously.
news, DVD releases, real news, comic book corner, where we recommend maybe not a comic book from this week, but a comic book that we liked our whole life.
Yeah.
And then we highlight Snitch. That's how we do the show.
Sounds right.
I forgot that was the name of the movie.
It is how we
We've been
do.
talking about it, and then you said it there. and
Is
I
there
was like,
news
what
in
do you-
there?
I did say news.
Okay.
Yeah, he said news.
So
But if you don't believe us, don't take our word for it.
Yeah.
We're just gonna
Well,
do
stay
it now.
tuned. You'll find out.
start the show, boys.
Fan mail!
Fan mail time, guys. Fan mail.
Yay!
I love fan mail. We're nothing without our fans.
Which, by the way, thanks to all the new ones.
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Thank you. And I also want to say thanks to Cora and Michael for being on the show last week. It was lots of fun.
Yeah, they were so
Um,
great.
It's really cool to have people on our show because I'm sure people get tired of listening to us all the time.
Yeah, I get
I
tired
don't.
of being on this couch.
I don't.
This dynamic only works most of the time.
All
good
the
to change
time.
it up.
No, it is. Yeah, it is really nice to have somebody on there, and because you know what I forget sometimes. I don't forget this, but somebody might. The truth is, and what I think is cool about this show is we're just some dudes talking about us liking movies, and I don't think none of us, contrary to what the London Film Review will say, none of us really take ourselves that seriously. Like we're always right. So it is cool to have
Dude,
somebody.
I wrote an article about how great Jason X is. Obviously,
Yeah.
I don't need to get over myself.
I
right?
wrote a very serious review of Sand Sharks.
But see, I enjoy Jason X.
I enjoyed Sand
You
Sharks.
did not enjoy that movie.
I like watching those movies.
He gave it 3 stars
I gave it 4.
What?
on our new
You
website.
did
Yeah,
not
yeah.
give it 4. That was my second worst movie of the year last year.
Yeah, I know. It's totally. It is horrible. You should totally get drunk and have your friends over and watch it because it's awesome. My point is, it's nice to have some other people on there talking about what things they like because that's what this is about.
Absolutely, because, it's always good to hear somebody new because they might be smarter than us, and chances are they are. So, speaking of Cora, I just fucking deleted that email. Cora just said thanks for having us on the show, and she was catching up to her old her shows she's been watching, Downton Abbey, The Office, and she's going to send us emails with follow-ups,
Cool.
telling us about it.
And I thought it was her birthday for some reason, and it wasn't. So
No.
You also thought Ryan Johnson's from Denver. He's not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Ryan
sure
Johnson
I'm
is
right
not
about
from
that.
Denver. He's
Yeah,
not.
I heard it in the pod. I will look it up again, but
It was a
until then, we'll say he's not. But
yeah.
Could be.
I wouldn't say it
Maybe
unless
he
I thought
looped
it for
back.
real.
And changed his... When he found out you said he was from Denver, he looped back and changed it that he was from California.
He killed the version of himself from Denver,
Yeah.
so it never existed
Yep, and now the
to
version
cover
of
his
him
tracks
is
to make me
now-
look bad.
Yeah. Dude,
Great.
You pissed off Ryan Johnson. I don't know why.
At least I didn't piss off Bill Mosley.
Oh.
Um,
Because Ryan Johnson doesn't play poker with Steven Spielberg like Bill Mosley does.
James knows too much about Ryan Johnson.
He does. It's kind of creepy. So thank you, Cora,
yeah.
as always, for sending us something. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Also, the Perfect House, I got an email from the director there, too, and he's going to send us something. So listen, Real Nerds listeners, and when I have the certain things that he's going to send me, movies, that we'll be giving them away.
Cool. Very cool.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
James, you have our Twitter feed up. I can't.
Yeah, there's
For some reason, I can't look at mine.
Matt Burbonix, which I don't have his real name here because that's his Twitter name. But maybe that's his real name. Maybe he was born. That's his Christian name is Mac Burbonix.
You can refer to people by their
Yeah,
Twitter names.
absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
No, that's
Maybe they
cool.
want to be anonymous.
It's kind of a cool name. He's got this cool little drawing of I assume himself. Anyway, he said I heard you guys talking about Hellraiser 5. Sounded good in your review, so I rented it. I had forgotten already, or I had forgotten that I had already watched it in the past. At least this time I watched it with an open mind. Doesn't say whether or not he liked it, but sort of implies that he didn't love it. Which one is 5? Is that Bloodlines?
No, that's Scott Derrickson's one.
Oh, okay,
and I
cool.
know he even mentioned in his interview with Kevin Smith that Hellraiser fans don't like it because, I mean, Pinhead is literally the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But what I think made the movie so effective is because he was in the last 5 minutes, and he was basically telling this guy why he's a piece of shit, and that's why he's in hell and why he's being punished.
Yeah.
And so I thought it actually gave Pinhead kind of a more, I don't know how to describe it, but it made him more sinister because of it. Sinister. Yeah. So I enjoyed it.
Cool. Well, Mac, if you're listening, send us a little bit more. Tell us what you thought of it, and whether or not you're a Hellraiser fan. Because
I'd like to hear, because we watched that thing and a lot of people said that that's their least favorite Hellraiser because Pinhead's not in it as much.
Exactly, yeah.
And me not being a Hellraiser fan, maybe that's why I liked it the most.
Right.
And and
a little bit of bias from just liking Scott Derrickson.
Yeah. Probably.
Sometimes, especially when you're going to a straight-to-DVD horror film like that, if you've got an in like that, like, oh, somebody who made this is somebody I like, you kind of you give it a little extra room, and you go like, oh, okay, this is what he's trying to do, and even if he couldn't do it because it was a straight-to-DVD movie, you appreciate it more.
Oh, I agree, because when he was talking about it on the podcast, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if somebody came to it just looking for a schlocky, like, hey, this guy's all messed up and has pins all over, like. Like I saw clips from that one where the guy's got hooks pulling his skin off. And
that's like
they
in
can't
every
do
one.
that in that movie. Yeah,
like in every one, that's their torture.
And he's just pulling skin. That's a very Clive Barker thing.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
It is.
I guess that's cool.
I guess
that and the Midnight Meat Train.
Yeah, the Midnight Meat Train's good.
Is it really?
It is. It's really good.
I've never partook of the Midnight Meat Train.
That was before Bradley Cooper got really famous.
Yeah.
He plays.
So was Alias.
He plays. Oh yeah, he's great in Alias.
Oh my God.
He plays a photographer who photographs a serial killer on a train.
Right.
And I won't tell you anymore because it's obviously goes somewhere else, but it's a good movie.
Is he the serial killer? In the end, does he find? Okay, good.
Vinnie Jones is in it. He is the serial killer.
Oh, shit.
There's no secret about who the killer is.
Right, because he's got a picture of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Is that all the news? Or is that all the
That's all our
mail?
fan mail.
Cool. Christopher Mim thanked us.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's
Chris
right.
Mim.
Yeah.
And
He thanks us for
Russell posted on Facebook that I'm way too nice for the amount of shit that you guys give me when I'm not on the show. Good job, guys. The site looks great. And I really enjoyed Core and Michael, a special guest this week. So I hope they return to the show sometime.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Yeah, Russell, you should. He's never in Denver, but if he's in Denver, he should be on the show.
Yeah.
And then you can defend your boyfriend, Brad.
Yeah, and then I can make fun of you and your genitalia to your face like you did to us. I'm always going to hold
He'll never get over it.
No, I won't.
James is really sensitive about his penis.
I never met the. I'd never met the guy before.
Sensitive penis.
And then he made fun of my sensitive penis.
Half whole.
As always, if we missed your email or tweet,
because I deleted it,
yell at us and we'll get it on next week.
Oh man,
yeah, awesome. So fun time of the show, boys.
Commercials
stuff we've been watching. Commercials are, dude. How many times do we do this fucking show? You guys still don't know it.
90 actually.
If I wasn't around to host this show and keep it going, you guys would be fucked.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
So, I watched a few things this week. Cool. The first thing I watched was a 5-year engagement.
Oh, yeah, we saw that.
One of the great things about these used Blu-ray stores around us is you buy 2 Blu-rays, you get 2 for $2. And one of the 2 I got for $2 was a 5-year engagement because I got Warhorse, like the 4-disc one, for $18. Oh, dude, it's so awesome.
Wait, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you asshole! I got.
It's that second spin.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because at Tradesmart I got one of the friggin' rental ones.
That sucks.
That has nothing on it.
Of Warhorse?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
I know.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. The way they distributed Warhorse was so shitty. Where it was like the version you wanted was like $35.
Exactly.
For some
it's still
reason.
$35.
Yeah, it's insane.
They always do that with the premium Spielberg movie.
No.
Like War of the Worlds, I have like in the
That was
terminal. Those are all like $35 DVDs.
Yeah, but no. There were like 6 versions of that one because they sold it in. They sold every version in DVD and Blu-ray sizes and shit like that, and it was convoluted and stupid.
I think he's just mad about his own purchase.
All the people with the 4-disc Warhorse will sit over here and hang out and be in the special Warhorse 4-disc club.
Yeah, we're so cool.
Oh man, all the special features.
I know. I haven't
really
had a chance
understand
to
the
watch
process.
You remember that special feature where they just talk about
having the 4-disc set? It's great.
Welcome, purchaser. You're part of a special club.
It was a special introduction by Steven Spielberg.
That's right.
And it's personalized.
And somehow he's able to reference your actual name when he talks to you on screen.
It's a personalized Steven Spielberg introduction.
Next, you're going to tell me there's actually a commentary by Steven Spielberg on the disc.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
You assholes.
And you're part of it.
You are. You call in and you record it with him, and he says, "I really enjoyed this time with you."
On the box it says commentary by Spielberg and then blank.
Right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go home, break that disc in half, and cut my wrist open with it.
And then we there's a part on my commentary with Spielberg where we sing the song from Jaws, and we all have shots and everything, and it's gret, dude.
Oh my god.
Anyways, a 5-year
and then
engagement.
E.T. comes in and sits down next to you, and you all have a good time.
Oh, I'm out. I'm out.
The 5-year engagement's still pretty funny. It's a well done movie.
Yeah,
I think Jason Segel and Emily Blunt are really good in it.
Yeah, it was pretty
and
good.
then even the Chris Pratt and Alison Brie are really good. So if you haven't seen it, it's a cute comedy.
Yeah. Or if you want to hear us talk about it more, go back and listen to our review.
Exactly.
Man, we've got a catalog now.
We do. I also got Resident Evil Damnation. If you don't know what that is
it the animated one?
It is. The first one is called Regeneration, and this is Damnation, which doesn't make any sense. And basically, it stars Leon Kennedy, and they go to a Russian city that's in civil war.
Which one's Leon Kennedy? Isn't he in any of the other ones?
He's in RE4.
In Zero.
And
he's in...
No, he's on Zero.
No, sorry. I don't play the games.
He's in Resident Evil 2, 4, and 6.
Does he show up in any of the movies?
He's in the newest one.
Okay.
Wait, who's on the train with the girl?
Billy Cohen.
Oh.
Is he that guy from Lost in the new one?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. He's the guy who wears the... Anyways.
Whatever.
It stars Leon Kennedy, and he is going to this Russian city where the president is trying to quell a civil uproar, or I guess uprising, and she's using BOWs to do it.
What's a BOW?
Biological organic weapons.
Oh.
And so that's liquors, basically. And so he goes in and investigates, and he fights him. And there's some parts that are pretty cool in it. The animation on Blu-ray looks really good. The background, and it starts kind of slow, but when he starts fighting monsters and the tyrants, I don't know if you guys know what tyrants are. They're like the really big evil Resident Evil guys. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, they're like big zombies.
Yeah, they rip people in half and stuff, so it's pretty cool.
So they're Wookiees.
I would say you'd have to be a fan of Resident Evil to like them, because it also it's kind of telling you have to know the history of Resident Evil to know some of the things that are going on.
Right.
You kind of can't just go in there and, hey, I can sit down and watch this movie without knowing nothing about Leon Kennedy or and things like that. So if you're a fan, definitely check it out. And it looks really great on Blu-ray. And I always laugh, too, because they have director's commentary, but the director's Japanese. So, I haven't listened to it, but I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if he's going to talk and they have subtitles or something. I don't know.
Huh.
Because I watched the making of it, and they all speak Japanese, which is fine. They're from Japan. But there's subtitles. But does the director's commentary have subtitles on it?
Yeah, I've never seen a director's commentary with subtitles.
Yeah, so I don't know. Or do they have a translator? Like, he starts speaking, and then the other guy comes in. They turn him down a little bit. And,
yeah.
I don't know.
He just said this was really tough to animate. And
but they did have some really cool set pieces in it. I will say that.
Cool.
It had a nice Resident Evil feel to it, where I think that Regeneration and Damnation have a bigger feel of Resident Evil than the movies ever did.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like because they don't actually have like physical constraints and they can just sort of animate whatever they want. It seems like you could really make that closer to what you would imagine it to be, and have it be more fantastical and more over the top.
And it has a lot of Japanese moments, like the second hero in it's for some reason is able to control the liquors with his mind because he injects himself with the T virus. So it has that really weird Japanese.
The liquors, the monsters with long tongue.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like liquor.
Yeah,
like
he's able to control liquor.
He gets drunk and then he's able to control it.
Yeah, fucked up.
He just walks into the room and sucks all the liquor to him.
I also rewatched The Quantum of Solace, and it's better than I remember it being. I don't think it's actually that bad. I think the opening car chase scene's pretty badass.
Yes, no, it is.
There's some great moments between. I like the interrogation scene, which is the beginning too. Is pretty cool. It does kind of.
I think it squanders a lot.
It squanders a little bit. I think Daniel Craig really helps elevate it, though. I think it's kind of cool where James is, he's a wanted man by MI6, and so he has to kind of solve this thing by himself. The villain is lame.
Oh yeah, no, that's my biggest complaint is that whole last action sequence with like the exploding hydrogen cells or whatever, and like the weakling French guy comes at James Bond with an axe, and somehow that's really dangerous. Like that whole last sequence is what I hate about that movie.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, the boat scene where he's chasing that girl on the boat and stuff, I think is really awesome. They're on the docks and everything, and he gives her away to the drug cartel guys. Yeah. And James Bond rescues her. I think it's really sweet. So yeah, I don't remember it being. It was better than I remember it.
Good.
It's not one of the best James Bond movies, especially after Skyfall. So, and I mean, sandwich between Casino Royale and Skyfall, the two best James Bond movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I said it. The two best James Bond movies.
Yeah.
It's
very much the Die Hard 2, Die Harder of the
exactly.
trilogy. Yeah.
But I do love the scene too, where at the end where. He drops the bad guy off and he says, I'll give you 2 hours before you start drinking that. And he throws him some oil and he leaves him to die in a desert. So it's kind of a cool James Bond. Which
they do say they found, like the MI guys, they said, we found him in the desert and he had 2 quarts of oil in his stomach or something.
Yeah, it's great. So it's kind of cool, a dark James Bond. So you should give it another shot. I don't think it's a bad movie.
Cool.
Then my 2 Scott Derrickson movies I actually watched this week. I rewatched Sinister, which is really good still. It's a great horror movie. And one of the things I really liked about it, too, rewatching it, is it has a really uneasiness to it throughout the whole movie where you want Ethan Hawke to make better choices, but there's some great character moments where he's conflicted because he's trying to catch lightning in the bottle again. He wrote a book that was really popular called Kentucky Blood, and it basically outed police officers as being incompetent in solving this murder, and it made him really popular, and his 2 follow-up novels were not well received, and so he moves his family into this murder house trying to reclaim it, and it's just really good because there's a huge character study about he knows he's making wrong choices. A lot of times people say in horror movies people are stupid, and he's not. He knows he's making the wrong decisions.
It sort of gives him the agency. Where
exactly.
It doesn't feel like he's being written into the basement to to be with the monsters. It's more like no. We've given him motivation to want to go into the basement knowing there are monsters, which is way more fascinating.
It is, because there's a part in it, because I said this when I was talking about earlier, it's a found footage movie that Ethan Hawke finds the footage.
Mm-hmm.
And his first instinct when he moves into this house where this family is murdered horribly, where they're hung by a tree. It's horrible. That's how the movie opens.
Yeah.
And he finds this Super 8 footage of it, and he calls the police, and he's gonna, say, hey, I found this box of movies, the murdered family, but then he realizes that he needs to have this breakthrough novel so he can take care of his family, and so he hangs up on the cops. So he knows he's making the wrong decision, but he's conflicted. It's a really great movie,
cool.
And it's really interesting. The special features on it. There's no making of the movie. They have interviews with true crime authors, and then they have a special feature about living in a house that people were murdered in. So
at no point does he takes you behind the scenes of like how they did any of it. That's interesting. I wonder if that's I have to think that's a deliberate choice.
Oh, I think so too.
That at some point Scott Derrickson or somebody in the line said like, hey, this would be better if we don't show people behind the curtain.
Yeah, and the only thing that bummed me out about it is I found out that he had final cut throughout the whole movie. So that last cheap scare at the end is his.
Aww.
But other than that, it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
So you should check it out. It's a funny story about Sinister on Blu-ray is I ordered it and I get text messages from UPS when they say, hey, your delivery has arrived and it's on your back patio. I came home, it wasn't on my patio. I was like, fuck. And so I went to my neighbor's house and they didn't have it. So I wrote this email to Amazon saying, I never got my Sinister. They said they delivered. I never got it.
And your wife walked in and said, hey, this package came for you.
No. I texted her. She didn't have it. She said she didn't see it. So it was like 9 o'clock at night. There's a knock on my door. 3 blocks away, they delivered it. And some guy brought it to my house when it was snowing outside.
Dude, that's so nice.
Yeah, especially because it says Amazon on it. I'm surprised you didn't keep it.
Yeah. Sinister.
Did you invite that guy to watch it with you?
I was going to, and I was also going to spit on my hand and, make him really appreciate bringing it back to me. But
yeah, come on into my house, buddy. I don't know, and watch this scary movie with me about people getting hung in trees.
You found my DVD, but I don't have any money, so wanna watch it?
Remember when you did that for like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying.
What happened while I was gone?
No! I didn't do that for 5 minutes.
Well, you were stroking.
Yeah.
You're stroking the microphone.
Yeah. We were testing it for audio problems.
I'm gonna test it for STDs now. All right, go on.
And the last thing I saw was The Day the Earth Stood Still, which is the 2008. I picked up the Blu-ray because at Tradesmart it was $9, and it came with a Blu-ray of the 51 original.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah,
and,
I don't even have a Blu-ray of that.
And so I watched it, and it's okay.
Yeah.
The opening, I think the first 40 minutes is actually really good, where you don't know what Klaatu's from and what he's trying to save. Jennifer Connelly is actually really good in it, and she's really cute. Like I forgot how cute she is.
Yeah.
It's an interesting movie. The interrogation scene was really good, or I guess the lie detector scene.
Yeah.
But then it kind of just stalls. And John Cleese is in it as a scientist.
Huh.
Yeah, and freaking Kyle Chandler's in it. John Hamm is in it. All these big guys now. It's not a terrible movie.
Yeah.
It's just
maybe shows the sign of the writer's strike.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's too bad. I'm gonna have to borrow it now, though.
Yeah, you should check it out.
I've always been really curious. I just never got around to watching it.
Yeah,
because I knew, being a fan of that movie, and when they announced they were going to do it, like I'm usually just fine with them doing remakes of movies. If they remake something, they're not affecting the old one or anything like that. But for some reason, on like a principle level, like that one really bugged me.
Really?
Yeah, and so I just never went to see it. But I'm curious.
And like I said, it's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. Cool. I mean, Gort in it's really cool, and how he ends up basically going to wipe out the world is pretty cool. It's different. I'll say that. And Keanu Reeves, he doesn't get a lot of credit, but he's pretty good in it as being otherworldly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the problem is that when you're playing a character who is supposed to be very, sort of out there and kind of blank, people accuse you of being, oh yeah, he's doing that character he always does. No, Keanu is better than people give him credit for.
Yeah, and he's great in The Gift. If you've never seen The Gift, he's amazing in The Gift.
I'm going to say this. Yeah, that movie Hardball, that's not a bad movie.
I know, you've said that I think a couple times.
Yep.
But the cool before I end this, the cool thing is I was watching the special features about making of it, and Paul Salmon is being interviewed,
dude,
in it as a fan of the original and
cool.
a fan of the new one. So
very cool.
And when he's talking, I'm fascinated by him.
Yeah,
because he's talking about the paranoia of the 1951. It's different, and now it's no longer about the paranoia of Russia or something. It's the paranoia of being wiped out. And
right.
It's kind of interesting, and he's really good in it.
Cool.
And the making of it's pretty good. Especially since I listened to Scott Derrickson talk about the movie, and with not the most glowing look back on it.
Yeah.
And when he's doing fluff pieces on the Blu-ray.
I'm really proud of this one. I think it's really going to be great.
Yeah.
That
I mean, Kathy
6 years
Bates is
later.
in it too. I mean, there's really good actors in this movie. I was shocked when I saw it, and Jaden Smith is in it too. So that kind of.
So it sounds to me like one more reason why I really hate that writer's strike, because with that many great people on there, they could have done something really cool. But if you can't get your writers to go back to work and be like, hey, how about we pump up the last half of this script a little bit? Then you just got to shoot it the way it is, and that's
So I mean, you should check it out. It's not a horrible movie. It's not, as far as science fiction, it's not the greatest, but it's still fun. I mean, there's some pretty great special effects in it, and check it out.
Cool.
That's what I saw this week. Brad, what did you watch this week?
I finished watching the Star Trek Next Generation series.
The whole thing.
All 7 seasons.
Wow.
All done. Finally.
So do you have a favorite season?
Not really. I mean, the whole series is good. And there's probably a week episode like every 12 or
like every
13
TV show?
episodes.
Yeah.
The middle part is very holodeck centric, and the last 2 seasons, 6
So
and
what's
7.
that
Or
mean? Sorry, I'm not a Star Trek
Oh,
person.
yeah. They have
the stories get a little lazy because they're all like they go to the holodeck and then something goes wrong.
What's the
well, hold
holodeck?
on. You know the Dreamatorium in Community?
Yeah.
Okay, that is actually based on the holodeck in Star Trek. It's a room they go into and all these holograms come out. And
Oh,
you,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
basically,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, it seems to you like you're in a different world or a different place.
So it's like the Danger Room in X-Men.
Yes, no, it's exactly like the Danger Room in X-Men, and sometimes it breaks, and sometimes it'll break, and like the safety settings are off, and they'll, their guns actually work, or they can actually walk onto the, they actually affect the show. So
Yeah.
So if you're not a fan of sci-fi or Star Trek, can you watch the show and enjoy it?
I think so.
I think you can, but you're gonna
Do you
have
have to be a fan to enjoy it?
I think it's better if you can look past the surface of the show and get the messages that the stories are trying to convey.
I've seen a few of them because my uncle Mike was a huge Star Trek fan, and he loved The Next Generation.
Yeah.
So when I would hang out at his house with my cousin Chad, he'd always have it on because it was always on TV when I was little. And I remember watching them, and I remember they're okay, but he loved it, and I know a lot of people love the show. I just wonder if it's an easy show to get into.
If you only see it as like people in space with weird aliens, then it'll probably be lost on the average person. But if you can,
I mean, yeah, there are a few barriers to entry. It's a little dated now.
Well, I mean,
and,
Alias, I think, is a great show, but the Rambaldi artifact and stuff, I mean, that's...
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. It's some silliness. But I think the show is still really good.
Yeah. But I mean,
sorry.
Yeah, the middle season is very holodeck centric, and then the last 2 are very time travel. Like there's a lot of time travel, alternate reality episodes, which seems kind of like I wish things were more spread out thematically. But other than that, just a classic.
Do you have a favorite episode?
Yeah, I was trying to think of one. And it's like every couple episodes or so, something else cool pops up, and then I forget.
Well, they're hour-long episodes, correct?
Yeah.
That's hard to remember all that.
I know. Like each disc has 4 episodes on it, so I was constantly like changing discs too. And some highlights are like that family episode where Picard goes and visits his brother on a farm. Obviously, the best of both worlds. Yeah. The Inner Light was a good one where he experiences like 80 years of life in the matter of like 20 seconds, 20 minutes.
They won an Emmy for that one. That's great.
No, they.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah. Inner Light is the one that they.
Because in the 7th season, like I was watching special features, and Rick Berman was talking about how they never got nominated for any Emmys until the last season for Best Drama, and they still didn't win.
Or maybe they didn't win it.
They might have been nominated.
I think maybe you're right. Maybe they just got nominated. Should have won. Man, that episode's great.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's season 5 or 6, I think.
Well.
So is it hard? Do you think it's because they never won because of the stigma of the show? Where people of the original Star Trek it's known for its cheesiness.
It's late 80s, early 90s, so there's still like sci-fi is still not as popular as it is now. So people just imagine it's like goofy aliens and rubber suits and shit.
Yeah, and it's
not.
It's pre-Alias. All TV shows pre J.J. Abrams coming to TV and going like, "Hey, what if we made TV like movies?" It feels like TV, and it feels like TV in the early 90s.
But see, I can get past that stuff. I mean, I love.
I'm just saying that's one of the barriers to entry to watching that show.
I mean, I love Briscoe County Jr., but you're watching a early '90s Western on syndication. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that episode where Worf is paralyzed is pretty good.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
The barrel falls on him, and they have to like reconstruct his spine, and he wants because he's Klingon, he would rather be dead than have to like be paralyzed. So he tries to convince people to kill him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I
always love their
thing on suicide. Yeah,
their boxes. They were really cool. Like their
the DVD box art or box design is very.
I was trying to think of like the boxes in the show.
They're actually re-releasing them pretty soon here. If like a different new packaging, like the full seasons, and the packaging are like these cutout silhouettes of the characters. It looks kind of cheap, but. And obviously the Blu-rays are an okay mid between because they're not elaborate, but they're not like terrible either.
Yeah.
I will say that you guys, every time I'm at the used Blu-ray thing, I'm always looking for the Wrath-a-Con because I really want to watch it again.
Dude,
so
it's great.
I think they're re-releasing that too. Anyway,
so
yeah, and then I watched Generations, which
cool.
That's right.
I really like Generations.
Yeah, it's got a solid story and
I think it's well acted. It's well paced.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's an inferior.
So what's Generations about?
That's the one that sort of bridges the gap between it
The
has Kirk and it has
that's right.
And they meet
Picard in it because it's the first of the Picard Next Generation movies. And they sort of meet, and there's this big like space ribbon of energy that's flying through space, and when it hits people, it sort of just sucks them into this other world of like, being happy, and there is this guy who, unfortunately in the real world, it destroys everything in his path, but there's this guy who had sort of been inside of this ribbon before and wants to get back in, and he's like blowing up suns and stuff in order to change the gravity in order to pull that ribbon so that he can collide with it. The idea of what he's doing is
because
really
you can't
cool.
just fly a ship into it.
Yeah,
well, I
right,
guess
yeah.
I guess now the poster makes more sense. It's like kind of that wavy.
Yeah,
kind of thing going.
exactly. Yeah.
And people think the Nexus is goofy, but I mean, it's not that much different from a lot of the stuff on the show. And at times it does feel like a bigger budget version of the show, but
yeah, I think it's a really.
I still think
cool-
it's a good transitional movie. Like,
and the
the
Nexus,
motion picture for the original series was the first movie, and
that's
people.
a piece of shit.
Well, it's a classy movie, but it's not the most exciting movie.
Yeah, there's 20
So-
minutes of them going through space doors at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
But the Nexus, I think, is cheesy like when they're in it, but that whole idea of what I just described to you of like there's this giant space ribbon and this guy is blowing up suns in order to get it to come to him, like that is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's what making space villains like that based around huge ideas like that is what's cool about it. And just like they did in the show, they have to throw in, kind of cheesy, weird science fiction stuff that you have to forgive in order to get the really cool story that they're trying to tell you.
And there's also cool, it's all pre-CGI special effects, so there's like real model ships exploding, and the Enterprise D separates and crashes into the planet. And in the new Star Trek Into Darkness, the ship is crashing into the... that's all CG, but they have the saucer section of the Enterprise D crashing into a giant model planet, and it's pretty convincing.
Oh, yeah. All those little trees falling over, man. I always thought that was cool.
I was sitting there, and it's in Blu-ray, so I'm sitting there scrutinizing all the little details. I'm like, I know it's a model, but it doesn't look obviously like a model. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
And then I watched First Contact several times, actually. The first was normal, and then I watched it with the Damon Lindelof, and I forget the other guy's name. He's from some review site.
Wait, Damon Lindelof has a commentary on
Star Trek First Contact.
Why?
The Blu-ray. I don't know. They just kind of sit there and just kind of geek out with each other.
Dude, that's awesome.
They didn't say anything too special or surprising, so that didn't really stick with me. And then I watched it with the Jonathan Frakes commentary. He's the director of the movie, and it's just him solo on it, and it's hilarious because it's half like informative and half like somebody sitting behind you at the theater, like talking about the movie, repeating things on
he's
screen.
He's also an actor on the movie. Right?
Yeah, he's
he's Riker.
William
That's
Riker.
right.
Yeah,
but Star Trek has a tradition of having the actors then become directors.
Like LeVar Burton directed a bunch of episodes for the show.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart did too.
Yeah.
Gates McFadden did one.
Yeah. Most of the original series movies, I think, are directed by either
Leonard Nimoy or
did
Nimoy
two, right?
And Nicholas Meyer.
Yeah.
Meyer did 2 and 6, and Nimoy did 3, 4, and Shatner did 5.
Yeah.
And Robert Wise did the first one. But yeah, Jonathan Frakes will be like, "Who's that handsome devil on screen?" Or like when the names come up, he's like Worf, like when Michael Dorn's, and then Marina Sirtis will be like, "My name's Adi." Like he'll just won't even complete full sentences. And
like he's really just watching the movie like half drunk, mumbling.
Yeah, it started out he was like just saying kind of like words as the text was on screen, and then I was like, is he drunk while he's doing this? Is this how the whole thing's going to go? And then towards the end, it becomes more informative. But
cool.
Yeah, and he'll make fun of Patrick Stewart, like, and here's Patrick doing an excellent exposition read, telling the audience what they need to know. Yeah,
that's good.
Stuff like that. And,
I'm gonna have to watch that again. That's my favorite one.
yeah, listen to it with the Frakes commentary.
I will.
It's a good time.
Cool.
And I guess the last thing I watched was John Dies at the End.
Oh yeah.
Spoiler alert. Not really, because that's not true at all.
But then why is it called John Dies at the End?
I don't know.
So
I was
tell
so-
people about John Dies at the End.
I'll try. I could not follow this thing at all.
It's made by somebody, right?
Who's it made by?
Isn't it like it's made? I don't remember.
I know
There's
Paul
some
Giamatti's in it.
Don Corsarelli.
Oh, Don Cos. Yeah, he
isn't it the
did
guy from,
Bubba Hotep.
Bubba
Bubba
Hotep.
Hotep
Yeah,
and
there we go.
Phantasm.
That's
Okay, I remember that now.
See, I knew I was onto something.
Yeah, so I sat down, I started watching the movie, and, I guess it's not John. I guess his character's named David. The main character is a guy named David, and he apparently can, see monsters or something.
Okay.
And they fight a meat monster in this basement that transformed from this girl who they were there to.
That's where I keep my meat monster.
And then
Inside a girl?
No, in the basement.
they call up this guy Marconi, who's a celebrity of like monster hunting, and he does something through the phone that kills the meat monster right there and there. And then it cuts back to him talking with Paul Giamatti in this diner about all his crazy supernatural experiences. And then suddenly the movie is about this black goo that David gets injected with. And he has a friend named John, by the way,
Okay.
he's doing this supernatural monster hunting with. And sometimes if you look off to the side, you can see a monster that's there. If you can't see it normally looking at it, that happens too. This is going to sound really disjointed because that's kind of how the movie was to me.
Right.
Then what happened? David goes to this party, and he meets this like Rastafarian guy.
Okay.
Who is able somehow like knows all this stuff about David.
Does he have a cool name like Toto or
I don't remember.
Mufasa?
No, I don't remember.
No. Okay.
Then later on we find out that they all died at the party.
Oh, that's too bad.
And then there's this cop trying to figure out like why. Even though apparently later on we find out he already knows that there's something supernatural going on. And he's the only guy who can stop everything. And then
The cop or the
cop.
David.
Yeah, and then David picks up his friend John, who overdosed on the black stuff. And they stop in the middle of the street. Yeah, it's just.
Okay, no, go on.
And then the cop finds them in the middle of the street and then takes him into custody. And then while they're in custody, John dies at the police station.
Oh, good. So he does die.
And then he gives David a call through the ethereal.
The ghost phone.
He thinks it's through his phone, and then John tells him to go buy a hot dog, and then he talks with the hot dog, and he proves, I can talk to you from anything, so don't just limit yourself to this phone.
Yeah.
And then David goes to this mobile home where all the dead bodies of all the friends from the party were at. And then there's this squid thing under the ground that they have to travel through a portal to get to, and Marconi's already there.
I don't understand a word you're saying.
When did the squid get there? Is it like Watchmen? Is it just like
There was some montage about these scientists from the 20s and 50s that made some kind of demon thing. I was tuning out because I was like, where were we like 5 minutes ago? What was that about? Oh shoot, I wasn't paying attention. What's going on now? Yeah, so
wow.
Oh, and then there's this dog that the girl who's missing a hand pals around with. They pal around with her dog.
Who's the girl who's missing a hand? Have you mentioned that before?
Yeah, she was at the party. I forgot that part.
So she's died.
And then she disappears. No, she's fine.
Oh, she doesn't.
She ends up dating the main character, David, at the end.
Oh, so it's a romance.
And
Oh.
then
that
Paul
sounds like a
Giamatti,
mess.
we'll cut back to him talking to Paul Giamatti at the diner. Then we find out Paul Giamatti's been dead the whole time. I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he's actually black, but
Wait. Paul Giamatti has been dead and is actually black?
a black writer from some newspaper in a different city.
Why is that a part of the story?
I don't know. It's just a surprise at the end. Guess what? You've been dead, and you're a different race.
Yeah, guess what? You were black the whole time.
And we didn't see that
That's
because
not
John
racist.
has a problem with seeing things from an angle.
Because he's a racist?
That's disappointing
So-
because I like Bubba Hotep.
I know. I like
Yeah.
Bubba Hotep too, and then there's like a tag scene at the end during the credits that goes on for like another 10 minutes of them interacting with some other alternate universe, and John's still alive. So, yeah,
That's too bad because I was really hoping that this would do really well and be awesome, and then he could make Bubba Nosferatu.
so yeah, John dies at the end. Can't recommend it, but maybe it's based on a book. Maybe people who have read the book will understand it better.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think I might have. To
I haven't
see
read it,
anyways.
so I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like a hot mess.
Yeah. James, what did you watch?
I didn't see a lot because, as we talked about last week, I've been building a new computer and I got it done.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's great. So I've been playing just Far Cry 3 all week. which that's really good. But this is not Real Gamers.
Yeah, this is not Real Gamers.
We'll do that sometime, though.
Although the guy at the counter, when I went to get my gummy bears, was hoping that we were a game podcast. I told him we had 4 episodes about games.
Yeah.
We should do another one.
We're going to talk a little bit of games here in a second, too. But
It's Joe's fault, because that's his bag.
Yeah. But I did, thanks to Cora, I caught up on The Office.
Oh.
At least I think for the most part. I may have missed this week's episode. The last thing I saw was when they have champagne.
This Thursday, there wasn't one, so...
Oh, okay, so I'm not behind. So then I am totally caught up. And I watched, if you haven't been listening to the show, I stopped watching when Michael got on the plane and have not watched an episode of The Office since. And I jumped back into the episode that ends with Brian, the boom mic guy, showing up. And then have watched the last 5 episodes, basically. And as it was happening and you were describing it to me, it sounded worse than when I watched it actually was, especially because now I've seen where the whole arc
Is
has
that a
gone.
backhanded diss on you? Or?
No, part of it is because I watched it all in one big chunk. I was never really worried about Pam and Jim like being on the rocks or anything like that, like week to week, because by the end of the 5th episode, like you realize like, oh no, this is just they were just highlighting the fact that like they're still real people and they have problems. And I think it would have been, part of why it sounded so scary was because as soon as they started breaking the 4th wall, I started being afraid like, oh no, are they going to try to do something like, oh, they're actually totally scripted and that's why like the whole Brian thing is almost like a, yes, they're breaking that barrier, but it's almost just like one little story. It doesn't seem like it's going to go, be some huge thing. And I did enjoy the episodes that I watched. I'm still going to try and like annex them in my brain. Office jokes.
I got it.
Them into my in my brain like alternate endings to a Clue movie. Because to me like The Office is done and it was great. But I will say they were good enough that they got me going back and watching. Like I jumped into season 5 or 6 or something like that and started watching The Office again, and it's still, man.
Season 5 and 6 had Michael on it, so you're not really...
I know. No, that's what I'm saying. I jumped back into the seasons that I've seen them before.
Oh,
I was just rewatching them. But I know I'm not gonna go back and watch all of the nonsense between then and now. Like I only came back because of this stuff and because of Cora and because I kind of want to see how they end it.
So the last episode you saw was Andy inviting Pete and Aaron's exes over, and then Jim and Pam having that dinner where they kind of reach an impasse.
Yeah. Is that the same episode as where Angela
It's like an hour long.
Yeah. And Angela combs Dwight's aunt's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that was weird. Pretty good, but yeah.
So you're not really a fan of the whole fourth wall thing?
It feels like it was okay. And maybe it would have been. I'm sure it would have been way more amazing if I not known going in. But
is it funny?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Stuff you're seeing funny.
The show. I do feel like the show is missing some of the heart. There's something core there that is missing. And when I went, I wasn't laughing and having as much fun as when I went back and started rewatching episodes I'd seen before that I haven't seen in a while and didn't remember all the jokes. And I was just like having a really great time. Whereas the other ones, I was just sort of watching and being like, "Oh, this is fun," and the ideas were fun and I was enjoying it, but I wasn't like laughing out loud and really like in love with those characters the way that I am when I go back.
And not seeing like Andy leave on his boat trip, were you lost about him coming back?
No, I mean I understood like okay, that's what's been going on, and and it was funny having him come back. I liked a little line about like I hate to admit it, but I think I miss my beard. Like the little things like that. They were funny.
Like from the last episode, Pam like takes off for a little bit to go to her job interview. And Andy's like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "Not on a 3-month boat trip."
Yeah, yeah. And it does still understand those characters really well. Like that last that sequence when she goes to that interview and there's the guy who's very much like Michael Scott. That is all really fun, and has that awkwardness to it that is part of why I love that show to begin with. But then that very last sequence when they're having dinner and she sort of admits to Jim, what's going on. It was good. It was. I mean, it's really good. The worst episode of The Office is still better than almost everything else that's on network television. You know, I'm not watching The Office because I don't think it's good. I'm not watching The Office because I think it's done for me. That's all it is. But I'm gonna keep watching it probably. Which is the opposite of what I just said. And the only other thing I do want to talk about this because I know you watched it too, Ryan. You watched the PlayStation meeting?
Yeah, I did.
Which, Brad, you didn't check any of that out, did you?
No, I heard stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, there's no console design yet. There's a controller.
They didn't
and
show
games.
It was just weird.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, you're being flip about it, but the truth is, like, I was talking about it with Ryan in the car as we were driving. Not this Ryan, other friend Ryan. And I feel like they came out very much on top.
I think so,
with this
too.
thing. Like, you know, them coming out in front and being like, hey, this is the console. And now anytime people are talking about new consoles, they're talking about the PlayStation. And the fact that it's very game-focused and stuff like that was cool. But I want to bring up the fact that, did you find it really weird that when they were going to announce the new Infamous game, that guy came out and the lights went all, like, tiger-striped on his face, and he goes... In 2004, I was at a protest meeting and the cops maced me in the face. And now I used to think the cops were on my side. The government is watching you, and the U.S. government, you know, took everybody's cell phone numbers and ran them for drugs and shit like that. Like, he was just saying all this crazy, like, weird, over dramatic, like, conspiracy shit, and saying it like it was. Like he really believed it. It was really bizarre.
Very.
And then they go into this like, hey, these guys are superheroes movie. And
it was
hilarious.
It's a cool looking trailer.
It is. I'm
not the biggest fan of Infamous.
Yeah.
But that game looked pretty sweet.
Yeah.
The Capcom game it looked really good.
Which one was that?
I forget the name of it. Like.
Oh, the Deep Down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually not a Monster Hunter game, but a Dragon's Dogma game.
And the guys who came out who made Heavy Rain and they demonstrated the lighting and what they can do.
Yeah, Quantic Dream, man. I
was
want
pretty
to see
impressive.
that next game. Yeah.
So it looks really cool. The controller's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I love PlayStation. So.
And I will say, if you missed it, the best way I think to watch it is go to giantbomb.com. They did a coverage of it where they streamed it and then they were talking as the stream was going on. It's awesome. Because that way, when there's sort of downtime and stuff like that, they're sort of giving you commentary and explaining to you, like when they talk about the statistics or the specs and stuff that's in it. The Brad who's there is sort of telling you like that's a shit ton of memory and like that, you know, they're listing this stuff off that's expensive, hardcore shit that's going to be really, really awesome.
Should be fun. I mean, they're integrating like a PlayStation Facebook.
Yeah.
Where everybody has their own profile online, like Facebook, and you can see what everybody's doing. But it's video game centric. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Will you be able to play your old games on it?
No,
they haven't said yet. There's this little section where they sort of said like, they had all these very lofty dreams about like, you know, how cool would it be if you could play everything on this, and they're talking about like all the old PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games and stuff like that. And you're kind of going like, yeah, but is it really going to be that backwards compatible? Like, you know.
Well, I heard it's not going to be able to play the discs.
Oh, yeah.
I read an article where they can't play PlayStation 3 discs.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it will be backwards compatible with 1 and 2, but 3 isn't going to be a problem. And 2 doesn't really matter because they're doing HD re-releases of all those games. So it's really just 1, which is easy, you know? 3, the PlayStation 3
So hang on to your
games will be
PlayStation
hard.
3.
Yeah, well, duh. I'm not going to throw that thing away. Anyway, it was pretty cool.
And The Walking Dead is pretty good this week.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it is.
If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Cool. Word from our sponsor.
For barbecue that can't be beat, try Birdman Barbecue Sauce. Available and original and spicy. These robust, full-flavor sauces have the awesome power to kick your taste buds in their face. And for that smoking taste on everything you eat, try new Birdman Smokin' Rub. Caution! Meat left unrubbed may suffer from flavor performance anxiety. You can pick up Birdman Barbecue at local area Ace Hardware stores, Ruff's Barbecue in Golden, and the Danny Cash Hot Shop off Broadway. You can also like us on Facebook at Birdman BBQ.
The Comic-Con that is a mile above the rest returns in 2013, and it's bigger than ever.
That's right. Stan Lee's going to be at Denver Comic-Con this year.
They also have George Takei at Denver Comic-Con 2013.
Plus Kelly Hu and Will Wheaton.
Friend of the podcast, Georges Jonty, will be there. So go online to denvercomiccon.com where you can buy tickets. Stay tuned. VIP tickets for Stan Lee will be available. My man spider sense is tingling.
Hey, look, it's Man Spider.
How's it going, true believers? When I'm swinging through Colorado and I need comic books, I head to Arvada, Colorado, to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
Oh no, the teal troll is attacking me.
My son's in danger. Will no one help him?
Oh no, it's Man Spider.
Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, the whips the competition with great deals on back issues, 50% off, hold slot, 20% off list price. You want sports memorabilia? They got that too.
Where are you going, Man Spider? The teal troll still has my son.
Here's web in your eye.
Oh no, I'm bested by Man Spider again.
So visit 6700 Wadsworth Boulevard in Arvada, Colorado, and tell them the Real Nerd sent you. Our sponsors are the best.
Yeah.
It's like a warm hug. Box office numbers.
This is the box office stats.
It was a good day to be Bruce Willis at the box office.
Uh-huh.
His movie grossed $28 million
Yeah.
over the weekend. That's not including Thursday or Monday. I think it's something almost at $50 million for the week. But
no, I think it's up to... Oh, yeah, it's almost 50, yeah.
not surprising. I mean, it's the biggest movie that came out.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see what it does next week as far as what the word of mouth is, you know.
I was reading that the cinema score for it's like a B+ or something.
Really? I'd like to see what... Anyway.
So, yeah, nothing that special happened.
Yeah, we also saw Warm Bodies last week, which that's in its third week, and it came in at number 5 with another $10 million, which is...
It's on its way to being the highest-grossing zombie movie of all time.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah. I think Dawn of the Dead remake is the highest-grossing at $70 million or something.
How much did Star Trek First Contact make? Because that's kind of a zombie movie.
I doubt they'd lump that in as a zombie movie.
They should.
Yeah. You're right.
I would say that's my favorite zombie movie of all time.
I'd
the one
call
character
you a
even in there.
fucking liar.
You haven't even seen it. You don't even know.
Well, I know it's not better than Night of the Living Dead or Shaun of the Dead, so.
It made $146 million worldwide, 92 domestic.
What's it rank? What is its genre on Box Office Mojo?
Sci-fi adventure? What are you, fucking crazy?
So what can I buy this week on DVD and Blu-ray?
I was gonna say, should I introduce it or should I just wait till Ryan is done drinking liquor?
Totally.
Hard
I'm
liquor.
thirsty today, dude. I've drank like a fish.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Well, my favorite movie of last year comes out this year or this week.
This year? Well.
Twilight Saga: Breaking Dawn Part 2 is the big release of the week.
Cool.
On Blu-ray and DVD and all kinds of other shit.
What comes out the week after that, so you can save your money for that?
Hold on. There's plenty more shit this week. The Master comes out this week, which is one of the ones I missed from last year that I'm really looking forward to. Well, I am sort of looking forward to,
I'm not looking forward to seeing it. I want to see it, but it didn't really strike my fancy.
Yeah. Wait, Silent Hill Revelation, wasn't that already out? Or is this just a 3D re-release?
I think
it's a 3D re-release. It's on my list here, but I'm pretty sure we've talked about it before. More importantly, it doesn't matter. Chasing Mavericks, which is that movie, guys surfing, with Gerard Butler. That looks mediocre. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Rise of the Turtles, which is the Nickelodeon show, is getting some kind of first volume. Brad, are you going to pick that up?
I don't know.
Have you actually watched it?
I haven't watched any of the new series yet. I'm in this space where I don't know if I want to separate myself from keep all the stuff that I loved about the Turtles in the past.
Yeah, and
just or continue on and be still loving the Turtles. I don't know what I want to do.
So you're not really a fan then?
Oh, you're a fair weather fan.
You calling me out?
Mm-hmm.
You cussing at me?
I am, because everyone else says that cartoon's pretty good.
That's what I heard too, but it's also if I get invested in it, that means I got to keep being invested in stuff, and I want to save money, and I want to
Wait,
what? I don't want to be invested in good
Can't you
things.
watch it on Netflix?
I don't know.
Dude, steal that shit from the internet. It's for kids.
I'm not you, James.
Torrent.
I
Just
buy
do torrents.
DVDs
Dude, I buy them
when I want to watch them.
But don't you have a DVR? Can't you record them on Nickelodeon? They're on all the fucking
I
time.
don't have a DVR.
Oh.
And I guess you can watch them for free online. I don't know. It's just like if I like I've already.
Are you afraid you're going to like this Turtles more than your old Turtles, and you feel like you're turning your back?
Hold
on
on,
your
hold on. It's $9.98.
The DVD?
Yeah, it's less than $10.
Okay.
That's
Well,
less than a meal.
if I get that one, I'll have to get the next one. Then I'll have to get the
No, you
next
won't.
one. Then I'll have to get the
No,
next one.
No, you won't.
I'm a completist, James.
Well, how many episodes do you think there possibly could be?
That's the other thing. It's probably like $9.98, but there's probably four episodes.
Yeah, it's probably a volume 1 of
Yeah.
half the season.
And then
or
I'll get that
whatever.
one. Then I'll get the next one. Then the next one. And then once those are out, they'll release the whole first season complete. And then I'll be like,
Yeah. Seriously, fuck having movies and TV shows. Let's just stop this podcast. No, let's
What
not.
not a true fan of the Ninja Turtles? I thought I was talking to a fan of the Ninja Turtles. Then I was like, I'm just talking to the Shredder.
you shut your mouth.
So this week somebody
Give me, man. I'll think something
I have
you love.
I have Spider-Man, the new animated series from MTV. That's how much of a Spider-Man fan I am.
Hold on. Are you going to buy Ultimate Spider-Man, the animated show?
I don't have to. It's streaming for free. And so, like, every once in a while, I'll say, oh, the Green Goblin's in this one. Then I find out it's the Ultimate version of Green Goblin, and I get all pissed off.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, hi, I'm Spider-Man. I don't want to be in class right now. And then they go to these, like, little cute little animated things. It's so great.
This is the same guy who, like, they totally piss on the Legend of Spider-Man, and he still buys the comics with Dr. Octopus as Spider-Man.
Hey, they've been getting better.
Octopeter.
This week we also get a remastered edition of Zombie Lake.
Wait, there's a standard edition?
Apparently, this one's the remastered Blu-ray. It's actually a 1981 film, Zombie Lake.
The cover art's cool.
Yeah, it's got the zombie, and he's like a Nazi, and he's coming out of a lake. So it's actually Nazi Zombie Lake, which is way more interesting. And then apparently the next year they made maybe the sequel, I don't know, Oasis of the Zombies. It's like a lake in the desert.
It's always okay to kill Nazis, I found in, like, movies.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Is it okay to unkill Nazis, though? Because that's what these movies are doing.
And these are on Blu-ray?
Yeah, they're Blu-ray remastered versions. Now,
And I can't get a Blu-ray of Robot and Frank.
Right? Isn't it?
seriously?
The world's fucked up.
How many Steven Spielberg movies do I still not have a Blu-ray of?
The Terminal still can't.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Uh,
Also, Total Retribution comes out this week, which is clearly a
Is it a Total Recall Asylum movie?
Yeah, I think it's exactly. It's Total Recall by the Asylum.
Sweet.
I think it is both Total Recall and Resident Evil, because look, there's like a lady walking in a short dress.
Her name's
with a gun.
Allison.
And it's got the Retribution is very much a
Oh, I gotcha.
yeah.
So I guess when that's $1.
And she's on a boat, and there's a big flying ship thing crashing into it, which has nothing to do with the Total Recall. So, yeah, check that out.
Totally. Cool. Thanks, Digital Bits. Unspool real news.
It's real news.
What we got in news this week, James? Nothing?
Some pretty interesting stuff. So apparently, Mississippi never ratified the 13th Amendment. There's an article. I don't know. Did you post it on the site? Yeah.
Because I couldn't.
We posted it on the Facebook
I was laughing
site.
my ass off.
From Slashfilm this week that basically because of Steven Spielberg's Lincoln coming out, there was this professor at the University of Mississippi. Yes, and he was looking into it and looking into the history, and he found out that they never actually ratified the amendment. So they went ahead and did that this week.
It was
so
a
good
very
for them.
easy process, I guess.
Yeah. They went ahead and were like, yeah, we'll, be okay with that since it's,
150 years later.
Yeah, seriously. And people will make fun of Mississippi forever for that one.
If there was ever a need to make fun of Mississippi.
Yeah,
more
than that. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I was reading that article. I was laughing at the same. It's funny at the same time, but it's kind of depressing at the same time.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, it sort of fell through the cracks because they ended up voting for it and things like that, but they never were.
How does that
some
fall
racist,
through the cracks?
Some
though?
racist
No,
file
you're
clerk
right,
was
you're
like,
right.
his last stand was just not filing the paperwork.
Yeah,
No,
the
exactly.
Attorney General, there's
Exactly.
like,
It was like,
fuck
we don't
this.
really want to do this, so we'll just see if they ever yell at us, and then no one did. So Scott Derrickson's next movie has sort of been announced, or he got tagged to the next thing he's working on, which is an adaptation of Deus Ex for CBS Films, which is pretty cool. I think that fans of Deus Ex are never going to be happy about this, but I think that the world of Deus Ex it's so rich that you could take that world and tell any story in it, and it would be a good movie. Basically, Deus Ex is this video game where people all have all these like cybernetic parts in them and things like that. And if I remember correctly, in order for your body to not reject them, you have to keep taking this drug.
Yeah,
but then you get addicted to the drug and things like that, and it's weird. There's a lot of cool layers. It's sort of a cyberpunk kind of a genre. It's
kind of an interesting choice for him to do.
Yeah,
because it's really nothing.
There's nothing horror.
I thought he'd
about
make
it,
a really good zombie movie because he's really good at character stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's cool that he branches out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Try something new.
And especially like we were talking about before with things being character driven, I think that the worst thing that you can do when you have a really cool science fiction sci-fi property like this, and it's what often happens, is make it more action centric than character centric.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hope that he stays.
Sure
he sticks to having it be about.
Does the article talk about him and his writing partner writing it?
Yes.
So I wouldn't be worried about that.
Yeah, that's my hope. Is that it tries to be more like a Blade Runner than anything else, because that's what it's definitely harkening back to. I mean, more robots and stuff like that, but still, I guess Blade Runner has plenty of robots in it, but they don't look like robots. These robots.
One
look
that Harrison Ford shoots in the back.
Yeah. She's wearing like why in that movie do they have like weird snake bras? Have you ever asked?
Yeah,
that?
I never
It's
noticed
the
it.
fucking future, dude.
Duh.
God, you're so stupid.
So we pretty much got confirmation this week that it was totally Steven Spielberg that got Megan Fox fired off of Transformers, because Michael Bay has decided that she should be in Ninja Turtles.
Wait, why did Steven Spielberg get her fired then?
He's sensitive about.
Yeah. Steven Spielberg was pissed that she was talking shit about Michael Bay being a Nazi. I always assumed Michael Bay probably was pissed about that too. Apparently not. Apparently, you wash a guy's car and he will just let you be in all of his movies. Anyway. So yeah, she's gonna be who? April O'Neil? Brad? Would you see a Turtles movie where the turtles are from space and April O'Neil is played by Megan Fox?
Let's see. In the Turtles lore, how many female characters are there that Megan Fox could possibly play? Yeah, probably April O'Neil. I doubt Radical's gonna be in it, huh? Yeah, she's Splinter. First of all, I don't really believe this movie is actually happening because it's been delayed and.
Well, it says it's filming in April.
Yeah, and then 6 months ago they said it was filming.
Well, no, 6 months ago they said they're going to scrap the current script and make a new one.
Yeah, see, it's just plagued with they don't know what to do with it, and then news they're going to be aliens and shit.
Yeah.
We've already discussed how I feel about my interpretation of what they mean by that, but if it is true, aside from people thinking that she's a bad actress, a lot of people's interpretation of April is from the cartoon, and actually in the comics, she is more of a Megan Fox-looking character.
Yeah.
So for me, being familiar with that, it's not that much of a stress.
She doesn't wear a yellow jumpsuit in the comics?
No.
Bummer.
In the comics, she's like a black, frizzy-haired, 80s.
She's black?
No, black-haired.
Oh, okay.
God, so dumb. So,
and who knows? Maybe she'll knock April O'Neil out of the park.
Maybe she'll be great.
She's not bad, and this is 40, so maybe she's learned her lesson.
She's not bad, and this is 40. She doesn't do anything in that movie.
Exactly. I'm not that concerned about it. I think she could probably do it well. I mean, obviously, this movie is not going to adhere to the comics that much, so it's not that they're not really stepping on any toes. They've already done the damage. So
and who knows? Maybe it'll be good.
If they're gonna be alien turtles from outer space, sure, Megan Fox can be April. I don't give a shit. Do what you want.
Speaking of gross, we've never talked about this movie, but I want to bring it up because every time I see a trailer or an article about it, I tell myself that I'm having some kind of weird fever dream. Have you guys ever watched the trailers for Spring Breakers?
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of it.
I've heard of it.
it pops up all the time. It's this movie that has like Selena Gomez and Vanessa Hudgens and some other half-naked women in it. And James Franco playing this weird rapper with cornrows. And basically like these young women steal some money so that they can go to spring break and some shit.
Mm-hmm.
It really seems insane. Like and all of the promotion stuff is all just them in bikinis, and it's I can't hardly believe that it's actually a movie.
Why does it deserve our attention?
I just wanted to ask you guys about it. Like, if you would.
Wow, Brad is just cold blood. It's like, why the fuck do we care about this?
Also, because honestly,
You don't feel like that?
Yeah,
I feel
know,
like James is waiting for it to be on Redbox like within a week. It's like I have to see this. And I'm gonna ask these guys about it first. I don't feel like I'm alone in this.
No. There was a part of me that thought I was going to say something about it, and you were going to go, "I've never heard of this movie."
No,
I have not.
I follow Slash Film, which is where you get your news from. So
Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No. It's insane, and all of the trailers are in like they're all like Mexican trailers for some reason, and I don't know why. Like it's just everything about it seems weird and not real. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Weird bit.
It seems offensive and bad. But that's news.
Right on. So it's comic book time, Brad. Are you doing the comic book this week?
if you want me to, I can.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I want you to do it. How do you like that? Or I can do it if you don't want to.
I thought you guys had something, so
No, we never.
I always have something.
okay.
But we never hear from you, Brad. So Brad's going to do Comic Book Corner.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
In that case, I guess I will recommend a comic book. Let's go the Batman route because I don't think we've heard enough of Batman, and he's a popular character.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar enough with Batman and you want to get into Batman, The Long Halloween is a good graphic novel to pick up.
That's the Jeff Loeb one, right?
Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale.
Yeah.
Tim Sale's awesome.
The art's fantastic, and the story.
So what's the story?
The story is if
That's
you
the
watch.
Mr. Calendar one, right?
Why don't you just tell it?
You asshole.
Was it Julian Day? Calendar Man. Yeah, I was like the Calendar Killer. No, it's Calendar Man. He's part of it.
Is his real name Julian Day?
I think so.
That's pretty, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So if you watch The Dark Knight, most of what's in The Long Halloween informed that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it centers around James Gordon and Harvey Dent and Batman trying to crack down, not really on the Joker, but on the crime family of the Falcones. And I forget the other family, but shoot.
Anyway, bad guys.
Bad guys. Organized crime.
Yeah.
Not so much
Dudes with Tommy guns.
not so much the clowny villains. They are in it, like the Joker. By the end, the super villains kind of fill the void once Harvey Dent and Gordon and Batman crack down on
Sale's Scarecrow.
Yeah.
I think his Scarecrow looks really cool.
And a lot. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of it centers around like Harvey Dent turning into Two-Face and stuff, and it has quite a few twists and turns towards the end. There's a reveal of a character you didn't think was actually even involved in the story.
Don't tell me because I haven't read it.
Really?
Yeah, no, I really haven't.
But it's
my
really
gosh.
good.
Yeah.
It's the thing I love when Jeff Loeb does those kind of miniseries like that. He's so good.
Yeah, when it came out, like they released, it was individually. Like each comic was based on a different holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a Halloween one, there's a Christmas one, and it's like a whole year of Batman trying to track down this calendar killer, or not calendar killer,
Man.
Calendar Man's in prison the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're trying to figure out like how it's not him,
Yeah.
because it's all based like the killer is killing
Yeah,
Copycat. He's a counter
copycat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool because I mean Jeff Loeb's Spider-Man Blue, Hulk
Oh.
Gray, Daredevil Yellow, they're all really great.
Yeah.
Even his Superman for All Seasons is really good. And these are all collaborations with Tim Sale, and he has a really distinct art style
Yeah.
where it's kind of cartoony.
It's very simple, but the colors are
They're bold.
bold, simplified. There's not tons of like every detail is drawn into. It's like a very characterized, but also
But
Like,
it's like minimalist.
They're
very
expressive.
minimalist, yeah, and
Like,
expressive.
It does
and
a really good job of
very
telling the story
noir.
without being- yeah, exactly.
very noir. Like it's the kind of stuff like you'd see as like an art painting at a museum or something.
Yeah, so it's a
Panel for panel, and it's a good mystery too.
yeah, it really is.
Like as you're going along, you're wondering like who could this be, and like Batman's doing like real detective work. It's good stuff.
And you can pick up the trade paperback at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
That's right.
And the trade paperback's really nice.
Yeah.
There's
Probably
there's
my.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I think it has like a matte cover to it. There's a couple different editions, but yeah, it's probably my favorite Batman graphic novel.
Cool. Very cool.
I highly recommend it.
Awesome.
I remember the first time I read it, I was just like sitting there for a while. Like I, read it in a whole sitting, and then was like still thinking about it days later.
When I read it, I went back and reread it again to see if I missed things. Because, you're right, Batman does a lot of detective work in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying, did I miss something in here? And you kind of do, and it's a great little story.
Yeah, and there's like visual clues too.
Yeah.
Quick question for people like me who, know Batman but haven't read as much Batman. When like the twist, you said that there's a villain in there you don't know. Is it somebody that like a normal dude is gonna know, or is it like Zaz?
I should say.
Yeah, you can't.
I can't. Okay,
Yeah.
Just read it.
It's something, but
I
it's
don't wanna
something,
give you any
it's something like
clues.
somebody like me could read and,
Yeah, you
and
could-
totally enjoy.
Oh, yeah. You
and would appreciate
Oh,
that
yeah.
whole. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's where I was going.
You know how in Hush, like it ends, and you think, oh yeah, Hush did all this stuff, and then there's still like,
Dude, I haven't read The Long Halloween. Do you think I've read Hush?
I recommend that sometime. All right, never mind. Just read The Long Halloween. All right, segment
Sounds good.
over.
The point is, it's really great.
Yeah.
So this week, we saw Snitch.
Starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Brad, should people go see Snitch?
It's a pretty good movie. I liked it.
James?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, you watch the trailer and you know exactly what's going to happen in this movie. And I don't think it does anything special, but it's not bad, but I wouldn't run out and see it. Rent it at the most.
I thought she was pretty good. I wasn't impressed. I thought it was actually kind of tense.
Yeah.
And did a good job building up suspense in the movie.
It does, and I think it does sort of the emotions of it fairly well. I think there's they may sell it as more of a rock movie than it really is.
True. The trailer will mislead you a little bit.
It will.
I should have never taken that package. I'm not a drug dealer. I swear to you, Dad. You believe me, right?
Of course I believe you. This is a federal case. The mandatory minimum laws are very simple. Jason is facing 10 years in prison. 10 years?
United States versus Jason Collins.
I believe in the mandatory minimum laws.
Please, I just want to help my son.
We need your son to help us make arrests before we can help him reduce his sentence.
But like setting someone up, I won't do it.
What if I did it for him? What if I helped you make arrests? We have ex-cons who are working the yard all the time.
Maybe there's someone with a connection.
I'm trying to get my life in order, okay? And I'm doing that for my family.
I just need an introduction into that world.
Now let's have an honest conversation as to why you in my crib.
I'm in the construction business. I don't have product or distribution. But if anyone needed transportation, I could provide that.
Sound like he ready for the game.
Your driver, he handled the situation very well. We will use that.
You got any idea who we're dealing with?
This guy's the ex-Mexican paramilitary, and he runs this region for the Nuevo Leon cartel.
When you work for us, you will be treated like family. This, of course, includes your wife, your child.
This is the last stop. You complete this, and the judge that instant will release your son.
I love you, Jason.
You play nice with the feds, man, but what happens when everyone finds out you're an informant? They got coming after our families, John.
There is no way I'm gonna let either side dictate our fates. No way.
Every move that I make or I don't make, Jason will have to live with for the next 10 years of his life.
And what if you don't live?
You follow the drugs, you get players. You follow the money, you get a kingpin.
Yeah, you know that he's never coming back. Hey, John, you sure you can pull this off?
Trust me.
Because, man, every time that a car explodes in this movie, it's in that trailer.
It is. It really does kind of build up to that moment. But
yeah.
I mean, the story is, it says in the trailer, The Rock's son is arrested for... Basically, he's set up by his best friend for taking drugs, and he doesn't want to be a rat, and he doesn't want to set anybody else up. So The Rock decides he's going to do it for him.
And he's not really, he's not really into drugs, so he doesn't really have anybody he can...
Yeah, I guess, that's a little part of it, too. He doesn't know anybody to
like
set up.
if he did set somebody up, he would actually be setting them up, like not just, letting them fall.
So there's this maximum, minimum laws?
Yeah, which that's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Yeah, I'm just setting up. There's this law, and then even if you're, in the vicinity of drugs, apparently... You can go away for 10 years.
Well, he wasn't in the... He had, this giant bag of ecstasy.
But that's someone who...
That he received.
So if you just receive it, like Ryan could send it to me, and then I would go away for 10 years.
Yes.
And Ryan doesn't have to tell me that I'm getting it. It could just show up on my doorstep, and I'm like, oh, my God, what is this? And then I'm
yeah,
in jail.
but if you get it, and you open it up, and then the cops show up at your door, and you jump out the window and run... Then that's the, if the cops show up at your door and you're like, hey, somebody sent me some ecstasy, then they might not be like,
you guys forgot that he was on Skype with him.
Yeah, you're right.
So they probably have some sort of evidence.
Yeah,
where he
the cops were setting him up to fail, which is bad. It's a mean thing. The cops are dicks.
Well, the movie made it sound like to me like they don't have to set you up. You could just receive it and oh, sorry.
Well, but if you received it and the cops weren't there to know, then you just have drugs, and then you'd sell drugs.
The cops are just randomly shipping drugs to people's house.
The cops said, hey, if you set your buddy up, we'll get you off a better time. So they clearly don't give a shit about innocent people.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, and that is sort of the point of the movie,
Yeah.
if it has one, is this whole idea that,
sell someone else out. Doesn't matter.
Rules.
You could sell out a 9-year-old kid. We don't care.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Get on the ground!
You're going to butt rape prison, kid, because
You'll
then
never
his
take
son
me down.
gets
I'm
raped
going to the
rest of
Vatican?
Oh, dude.
Aww. Man. Anyway, so The Rock's son is getting raped in prison, and The Rock is like, how do I help? So he goes to Susan Sarandon.
Help him get raped?
No. I mean, how do I keep him? How do I keep him from getting raped in prison? And so he goes to Susan Sarandon, who is this, she's running for Congress, but she's the prosecutor, person that apparently all the cops answer to. And she's like, hey, if you bring me some drugs, then
And James is
Wait, so I just have to set you up?
James is as good an actor as Susan Sarandon. Hey, if you bring me some drugs,
then I will let your son go. And he's like, okay. Then Shane shows up.
Yeah, actually, he was really good in the movie.
Shane's my favorite part of the movie. I should maybe know
John
his...
Berthal.
Yeah. The guy who plays Shane in Walking Dead.
And I think Dwayne Johnson does really good in the movie, too.
Yeah. Dude, he cries.
Mm-hmm.
They got tears from a stone in this movie.
He's a stud, man.
Because he's The Rock.
He is. He rocks and rolls.
Sorry, I was just imagining him getting into character to cry and just he's thinking about the Scorpion King or something.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the movie, it moves. It kind of... You're going to... What I think the movie does really well is you're in his shoes. I mean, you're going through the paces like he is. It's not, all of a sudden there's shootouts and he's, has a 2x4 and he's bashing people's heads in casinos.
Yeah.
He's you're going in the world with him because they do a great job of setting up the tension. The guy who plays Malik was really good.
Yeah, he's always good. He's the guy from The Wire who's got the scar on his face.
And that scene was, I don't know, I just thought the movie was really well done.
It all felt very, very real. There wasn't any over the top action people throwing people into helicopter blades.
Right.
It's all and he's not running around the 2x4. It's just.
I did feel like there was a lot of shaky cam stuff, especially early on, when the kid is running away. And I think he was doing it was the right place to use that, but it was also out of focus a lot of times, and so sometimes it was just well, this is just a blur.
Yeah.
So that was over the top, but it was he was trying to sort of amp up what is basically a regular old chase scene.
Yeah, Barry Pepper as the DEA guy was really good.
Yeah, with the huge goatee.
Yeah,
he was awesome.
And I think really the weakest cast member was The Rock's wife in it, because that part where she says, "What are you doing?" And he's like, and The Rock is actually doing really well.
Yeah, but that scene completely worthless in the movie. Well, I mean, it's she needs to know, but this is one of those movies where if you have the characters say the plot out loud, it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because
he
has that scene. I don't care. He has this scene where his wife is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm trying to help our son." And she's like, "How?" And he's like, "By selling drugs." And you're just like, "Oh, come on!" Like, it's really.
He loves his wife.
Dumb.
He's going to be honest with her.
No, I know, but it's just it's poor exposition. It's the one time I really laughed out loud at the movie.
The people behind me were.
Oh, were they having a hard time understanding?
No, they're kind enough to, tell me what was happening on
good.
the screen.
Yeah. They were so loud that I was half a theater or a third of a theater away from them, and I was like looking over my shoulder and glaring at them like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
My favorite part, though, was their son was just going, "Shh, shut up."
Oh, was he really?
Be quiet. Yeah.
Oh,
because he was embarrassed to be with them.
Good. See,
but they didn't listen.
Their horrible behavior is raising better film goers. All parents should talk horribly and embarrass their children in movies.
That's how I was raised.
But okay, I have two favorite parts from what they said during the movie.
Oh, good.
So the first one was it was one of the early scenes where they're sitting down with the original attorney, and The Rock's son is talking with the mom, and he says, "Well, if you set up one of your friends, yada, yada, yada." And then it got really quiet, and the lady says, "Oh, he's the snitch." So she brought the title of the movie back, even though
that's the title of the movie.
He wasn't, because The Rock's
he's not
character
the
is the snitch.
Yeah, he's not the snitch.
Anyways.
and it's not called The Snitch, it's just called Snitch.
Yeah.
So it could just be about snitching.
This is the Dr. Seuss movie, Sneetches? The Sneetches?
And then when The Rock and Shane go back to the warehouse, and The Rock uses the phone, and Shane notices that the light's on, she said, "He's going to go listen to the phone conversation."
Did she really say
And then he did walk over there and listen to it. She predicted what was going to happen.
She did.
She didn't just say, like, he's going to go listen, or like she's going to listen to the phone. She had to add the word conversation.
Yep.
Like, that's 17 syllables more than you needed.
Yep.
Oh, that's awful. Man, shut up in movies, people.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And
you're so smart, you can see 3 seconds into the future. Oh, man.
But back to the movie. The movie was fun.
Yeah.
Fun, maybe not the right word. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Benjamin Bratt seems kind of wasted. But I don't know.
I mean, but what else?
I don't know
what else is he doing?
Means. Yeah, exactly. Like, he doesn't do a lot here, but what else is he doing? Oh, he's still got that show on A&E. No, he doesn't.
But I think it's cool that the Rockies kind of branching out in movie roles, and
it's an interesting one.
Some people, I was reading reviews that they say he's hard to. He's not very convincing as he's acting well, but he's not convincing as a normal guy because how ripped he is.
Yeah.
There were.
It was pretty funny when he went to see Malik the first time, and they call him into his room, into the back room, and there's the big bouncer dude at the door who's trying to. At first he escorts Shane in first, and then when he escorts The Rock in, The Rock is a foot taller than that guy, and you're just like, you're not impressive at all, But I think they do a good job at overcoming that, because he sits down at the table and the dude pulls a gun on him and scares the shit out of him, and you're like, oh yeah, yes, he's huge, but everybody has guns here. He doesn't actually have any power. This
His
isn't
huge
a Fast
muscles
and Furious
won't stop
movie.
bullets.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't a Fast and Furious movie. His cross on his chest isn't going to stop a bullet, so he has to actually play by the rules and live in the real world.
So yeah, it's fun, and the Fast 6 trailer is pretty sweet.
Oh my god,
it's so ridiculous.
That trailer is always pretty sweet. Oh man,
most ridiculous movie of the year.
Yeah,
Fast 6.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah.
Why do they just call it Fast 6?
Because then it wouldn't be titled series in film history. That franchise is a title disaster.
I don't get, why do people like Vin Diesel? He's so bad at delivering lines.
Yeah, that's why I love Vin Diesel in those movies, though. Anytime he talks about family in a Fast and Furious movie, it's my favorite thing ever.
What's he say in the trailer? He says,
You don't give up on family, even when they give up on you.
Hardcore.
Yeah, seriously. They think it's the biggest epic that anyone's ever written. It's great.
Well, I got them all here for you. Now give him a reason to stay.
Yes.
Vin Diesel should call into the show.
Needs to call into the show. Oh, man.
So, anyways, yeah, check out Snitch. I liked it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You can email us, realnerds@gmail.com. You can call us, 720-6nerds5. Tweet us, real_nerds. Leave a comment on our new awesome webpage designed by extremely talented Brad.
Put together by Brad. I didn't really design it. SolarStream designed it.
What a humble bastard.
I don't want to take credit for something I didn't do.
Yeah.
Then SolarStream calls me up. And
Well, what is SolarStream? They're like, hey, you designed a website using our template. Fuck you, dude.
Hey, we paid you for it.
Yeah, we paid him for it.
You know what I really loved? I really loved at the end when he's driving the truck and the car, like the dude's hanging out of the car, and the car runs into like one of those rails, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it just explodes. It just explodes.
Dude, it was knocked off by the Rock's truck, okay?
No, I know.
The truck obviously had gasoline and like a match on it. And why did it catch on fire? I know everybody in our row laughed.
Oh, yeah, it was
makes
awesome.
No sense why it caught on fire.
It just ran into a thing and didn't catch fire. Just exploded. It was great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next week we're seeing Jack the Giant Killer.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Slayer.
There's I was watching there's like a little 30-second thing on ESPN this morning, and
about giant slang?
Well, Ewan McGregor has a line in the movie. He says, "If you're chasing that princess, you're going up the wrong beanstalk." Yep, that's a line in that movie. But you know what? It could be good. I'm going to every movie expecting it to be a good movie.
Yeah, I love Bryan Singer, so
yeah,
and he's been trying to make this movie for a long time,
very long time. So maybe it's good.
Yeah.
So until next time, this has been a Nebulous Visions production. Goodbye.
Bye.